So how much money should you have saved by your certain age group? How much money should you have in the bank? How much money should you have in investments by your actual age? I found this article recently on CNBC, and to be honest, it really rubbed me off the wrong way. And it seems to be a going trend on this channel where I start getting angry at people who are writing articles or even fellow YouTubers. I thought I really need to address this elephant in the room, and hopefully also my viewers can learn a valuable lesson on why they're probably up on their retirement goals. And trust me, this article really did rub me off the wrong way, especially after we live in a world where you can just go on YouTube, find a good looking guy with a beard, and you too could also reach financial freedom if you just buy a course, follow these steps, or just YOLO into AMC. Honestly, this article is just complete horse, and it really did annoy me, but it does have a decent message. How much money should you save by your age group? Let's have a little look into the numbers, and then I'll tell you why it's complete bull. Now, as always, before we get into it, could you do me a favor? Could you take that like button out to a nice seafood dinner and never call it again? Make it go blue in the face with anger. And if you want to join a community with like-minded investors, people who do not YOLO into AMC, then sign up with eToro on the pinned comment, deposit, make a trade, and you do indeed get lifetime access to me and our glorious chat room. So look, here's something you probably didn't know. A couple of thousand hours ago, I never used to have a beard. In fact, I used to put on a suit every day, and I was actually a financial planner, a guy who really studied into retirement saving and saving plans in general. But my main focus was retirement planning. It was something I was really passionate about, and to be honest, it's something to this day I am very passionate about, because people all around the world, in fact, I'm going to go out and say here, 99%, if not, in fact, I'm going to go all of you, do not have enough money for retirement. And this video, I really hope wakes at least one person up to saving even more than you're already saving for investments, and more so your retirement. My whole point in life and my focus on this channel is to make sure that people do not end up driving a taxi in their retirement. That's an analogy I used to use when I used to go and meet clients, CFOs of big companies. I used to sit there as a young lad and say, you're financially screwed, because majority of them were. I always used to use this analogy that, look, there's a taxi at the end of your driveway, you're 80 years old. The decisions you make today are going to decide whether you're in the front driving somebody else to the airport on their nice holiday to the Caribbean, or you're in the back going to the Caribbean with your alternative ego in the driving seat. This is the real thing I want to get home to everybody. You really need to save more money for your retirement. And I was really shocked that this CNBC article really didn't provide the right information. In fact, it's quite damn shocking. Let's have a little look at it. Now, it says basically that if you're at the age of 30, okay, or you're in your 30s, you should have the equivalent of 1 times your annual salary saved up or in investments, all right? Now, this does not include your house, does not include your car, does not include your dog, and it definitely doesn't include them options you've used for AMC stock. But it does definitely include your current long-term investments for retirement. That's what I think they're trying to get across here. If you are 30 years old and you're earning, say, $50,000 US, you should have a roughly $50,000 US saved in your 401k. And if you're not from the US, a 401k is basically your pension. That's what it is. It's your personal retirement scheme, okay? So if you're from the UK, you could call this an ISA, you could call it a SIP, a self-invested personal plan. You see, I do know all the little acronyms for pensions. I'm not one of these guys who are trying to sell you a course here. I actually know my pension. But going down the article, you can see if you are in your 40s, you don't need 1 times your annual salary, you need 3 times. And if you're in your 50s, that 3 times goes all the way up to 6 times. In your 60s, you need 8 times. And if it's the ripe old age of retirement at 67, you need 10 times your annual salary. Here's where I have problems with this, because it's setting you up for failure. Okay, this is not enough money to retire. It might sound like a lot, but reality, it should give you some more figures. Let's have a little look at the US here, right? Now, if you're from the UK, if you're from certain states in the US, if you're from, the 51st state, Canada, sorry, Canadians, if you're from, I don't know, can't think of another country, Lithuania, doesn't matter where you're from. The point of this article, what they were trying to do and be clever, was say, whatever your annual salary is, this is what you can go off, because everybody can relate to it. But Reality is it comes down to you. What do you want to do when you retire? A lot of people think that you need less money when you retire. And it's complete lies. You don't. Think about it. When you're working, right? You typically, I always used to draw a circle. I used to say you split your day into three parts, right? It's 8 hours of sleeping, 8 hours of work, and 8 hours of leisure. Where do you spend your money currently? It's in the 8 hours of leisure. But when you retire, you might actually sleep less because that's what old people do, but you've now got 16 hours to fill. Now that might be gardening, it might be something really low cost, you might, I don't know, make hooch in your basement, but the simple fact of the matter is, if you have enough money, you're going to use that 16 hours, you're going to travel the world, you're going to go on cruises, but you can only do that if you save enough money. People save for sometimes 2 years to go to Disneyland, but they won't save to go on the longest holiday of their lifetimes, which is their retirement. Think about it. People aren't saving enough money. And this is why this article really did rub me off the wrong way. I mean, let's look at the average salaries in the US for ages. If we look at 30, the average salary is around about $47,000 US. If we look at the 40s, you can see it's 59,000. 50, it's approximately 59,500. And then it starts plateauing to the downside. That's right. The older you get, the less money you earn. Not many people realize that, but this again is the average. Unless you're a corporate hotshot, in which case you're probably not watching YouTube videos of this good-looking guy with a beard. But in your 60s, it falls down from 59,500 to 56,000, and then when you reach retirement, you get hit with another whacker. You fall down to 52,000 US dollars. So let's do the math here. We know that from this article, in your 30s, you need 1 times. So if we go on the averages in the States, you need 47,000 US dollars in your pension pot at the age of 47. If you're in your 40s, you need 177,000 US dollars. If you're in your 50s, you need 357,000 US dollars. If you're in your 60s, you need 448,000 US dollars. And if you're 67, at retirement, you need a staggering 520,000 US dollars. Now, it does sound like a hell of a lot of money, but it's not. That's the scary thing. It's actually not a lot of money. And here's why. Now, although on paper it sounds like a lot of money, let's say you're 67 right now and you have 520,000 like this is saying, and you're the average Joe American, just hoping to live the average Joe lifestyle, okay? You're not ambitious at all. You don't want to go on holiday. You just want to sit in your garden and drink yourself to death. If you had 521,000 US dollars in the bank, at retirement, you should be aiming to get a yield, a return on your investment at around, and low risk, at around about 5% a year. Now, a lot of people mess up on retirement here because what they want to do is they want to build up a sum of money and take out a percentage from that pot until they die. But if you live to 100, probably not got a lot of money left. What the right way to do it is you invest enough money and you live on the interest, okay? So if you had 520,000 US dollars, 5% return is what you would live off. The 5% of said 520,000 US dollars. So you would have around about 26,000 US dollars a year to live on before tax. If we take off the average 8% retirement tax in the US, you would have a staggering $23,920 a year, approximately 1,993 US dollars a month. But let's just call that, you'd have 2,000 US dollars a month to live on. Sounds all right. All people don't need that much money, but again, it's not true. When you're older, you have bigger medical bills, okay? Some parts of the world, like the UK, Europe, Canada, it's free medical healthcare, so you can sort of exclude that one unless you're old and you actually want to survive and not go to these public hospitals that absolutely suck. But medical, nonetheless, is damn expensive. You've then got travel, you've got family expenses, you're going to have funeral expenses. You've also got to maintain a standard of life. Do you want to downgrade your car in retirement or do you want to upgrade in retirement? These are all things you need to assess because really a lot of people are missing out on this. This is not a lot of money. It really isn't. $2,000 a month, it's not a lot. I mean, if you're earning $2,000 a month now and you want to live at the standard of lifestyle you live now, you even can't at that point because you're going to have double the hours of leisure in retirement that you currently have. So think if you go to a restaurant once a week, in theory, when you're retired, you could go twice a week. That's probably an easy analogy to sort of concept. If you think about it, you have more time to do it when you're retired. So this is why this article really upset me, because it's just putting a figure out there saying this is how much money you should have with no real relevance. I mean, it depends on your lifestyle. It depends how much money you want. I mean, my goal, genuinely, if you're in the chat room, you know, my goal is to get a catamaran and sort of live in the med in the summer, and I don't know, live in a log cabin in the winter. And I'm on target for that. But trust me, I'm saving a lot more than this thing's telling me to save. And if you want anything close to that, you need to do the same too. It's not that hard to just invest into a ETF that follows the SPY, get 10% return a year. But the key and the hardest thing is to continuously invest, continuously buy as much as you can when you can, and continue doing it. You should always be scraping together. Even $1 can amount to a massive amount of money over a long period of time. Scrape together as much money as you can, and you have a much better chance at financial freedom when that time comes. I mean, the other scary fact is, let's put it on paper. I know the average age of my followers here, and I'm going to read out the figures again. If you're in your 30s, you need $47,000 US. You should already have that actually invested in your account. If you're in America, if you're from the UK, Canada, anywhere else, go on the internet, find out what the average salary is for your age, and just think, do you have that figure? If you're in your 40s in America, you should have $177,000 US. 50s, you should have 357,000. If you're 60, you should have 448,000. If you're 67, you should have over $500,000 already. Now, I think these figures are completely too low, but if you don't have that, you're already even playing catch up to this article, which I think is absolutely bull. And remember, this does not include your house. This is just your pension. You need a lot more money than most people realize, unless you want to drive that taxi until you die, which, trust me, I don't think anybody really wants to do. Now, the code word for this one is start saving. And if you want to know how to calculate your retirement correctly, check out that video up there, because I go on about how to actually do your retirement calculations correctly, and also give you a very old insight to how this YouTube channel started. So if that floats your boat, check it out, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.